What is happening? Everybody, what's going on? Nobody in here. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to get this stream going. I know it's Valentine's Day. I know you're all probably with your loved ones, but we're going to run this show anyway, just in case there might be somebody out there. So,
Might be.
welcome to another episode of Smitty Snippets. I'm joined by my lovely sister, Christina. Say hello to
I'm
the nice
back,
people.
baby.
Yeah, we got to find you. We got to find you something else. But happy Valentine's Day to those who are out there enjoying Valentine's Day with their loved ones. Hope y'all had a good day, and hope you have a good night too. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
all right, hit them with some news, man. While we wait for everybody to get on in here.
All
First of
right.
all, hold up.
Yeah.
I'd like to congratulate my birds on a Super Bowl dub. That's all I'm saying. I ain't been on here. Some of y'all, some haters out there, and listen.
I'm
Grab a
telling
nice warm
you.
blanket. Just relax. Let this just wash over you, okay?
Oh,
Go and wash your hate off.
goodness.
Wash your hate off. All right, hit him with that news.
All right, people. We got some entertainment news today. We're going to start off with Grand Theft Auto. It is confirmed for a fall 2025 release for PlayStation and Xbox. Grand Theft Auto 6 first trailer was released in December of 2023 and gained 90 million views within the first 24 hours. I'm saying.
So yeah, I'm a gamer. I cannot wait for that to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Loved the last one. I think everybody's been waiting on 6
Mm-hmm.
forever. So yeah,
Okay.
I can't wait for this to happen. I might have to stop doing YouTube shows when that comes out. You know what I'm saying? I'll be busy.
You know what? You're not the only one to have said that, which I don't understand, but whatever. To each his own, I suppose. New trailers that dropped during the Super Bowl. We had the Thunderbolts, which dropped. That had 20 million views as of Tuesday on Marvel's YouTube page. Is that something that you plan on watching? Or
Shit, yeah. I feel like Marvel gonna make a comeback with the Thunderbolts. I
okay,
feel
all
like
right,
I don't know if they're gonna make such a big comeback with this Captain America, but I'm looking forward to Thunderbolts. Actually, you know what I mean?
okay, all right. Other releases. Well, first of all, let me just say Thunderbolts is scheduled to come out May of this year, so everybody look for that. Other trailers that came out was Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, as well
Cannot
as
wait for that.
I know, me
Cannot wait for
too.
that. First of all, that's my most anticipated movie of the year.
Is it?
Yes, because
Okay.
the premise for what the first one was about was absolutely incredible. AI, you can't beat AI. You serious? I can't wait for that to come out. But they need to
Okay.
hurry and get to this because Tom Cruise looking like he about 80.
Oh
You know what I
man,
mean?
my goodness.
He
Please,
ain't looking
let's
good.
let's not even get started with Tom
He ain't
Cruise.
looking good at all.
Lilo and Stitch. You plan on watching that one?
No.
Okay. that was that was a quick answer. And yeah. And How to Train Your Dragon also came out. You plan on watching that one? That's a yes. All right, I got you. No? Okay.
No.
And then quickly, we're just going to run into the Super Bowl ratings, as you've already congratulated our Philadelphia Eagles. That outing between Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs attracted 127 million viewers, according to projections from Fox. And this is the third consecutive Super Bowl to hit a record high audience. Um, Final update is with regard to Fallout Season 2. Filming was moved to New York, from New York to California for a $25 million tax credit. But due to the wildfires, it has delayed filming. So we don't know yet when that's going to be released. Again, we're praying for everybody in California, but hopefully we'll be able to get a date on that. I truly enjoy Fallout, so I'm hoping that we can get
Yeah.
something, from that
Yeah, it's a
soon.
damn good. It's a damn good series.
Yeah,
I like that a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. I know you also wanted to talk about The Accountant too. That trailer recently dropped.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was pretty good. It was pretty decent.
Hmm.
Ben Affleck and I forget who was played his brother at the end of the movie. If you hadn't seen it, sorry,
John,
spoilers. But
the guy
yeah,
that
who
played the
was?
Punisher, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah,
John Bernthal.
yeah. John
Mm-hmm.
Bernthal. Yeah. So I guess he's coming back reprising his role as his brother in this
Mm-hmm.
one, and I guess they kind of attack everything together. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that actually. That doesn't
Okay.
look too bad. So
No.
let's rock
All
with it.
right. I will say I was surprised with the first installment of it because while I am not a Ben Affleck hater, I was surprised by his acting in that role. I'll say that. I know that sounds rather harsh, but I was surprised by it
I mean,
pleasantly.
he didn't have to do too much. It was a stiff role. All he had to do was just be stiff. That was it. Because the kid he had no personality.
Well, yeah, because he's
Dry, just dry, just be dry. That's probably what they told him. Just be dry. Just
oh boy. All right. All right.
all right. So what we
All
starting
right.
with?
Well, we got to let everybody know what we're talking about first.
What are we talking about?
We are
Let
talking
them know.
about we are talking about Severance episodes 4 and 5, and we are talking about the full first season of Yellowjackets. We all know that you guys were asking us to review it, so we are going to begin reviewing that for you guys, and at some point move into hopefully season 3, catch up with it. But right now we're going to be talking about season 1. So you want to kick it off? Season episode 4, Severance.
So I think this kind of surprised me a little bit. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know if what they were experiencing when they were in the snow was actually a simulation, um, which I think it would have to be,
Hmm.
since the only time that they can be the innie is when they're on the severed floor. So yeah, I really like this episode. I don't know how they come up with these ideas, or where Ben Stiller's coming up with these ideas, but it is really really well done. It's well thought out, and I just like how over the top it is, but it's still within believable. I won't say believable, but it's interesting to see. Right?
Hmm.
It's not like completely ridiculous. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah, gotcha.
So I enjoy that aspect. What'd you think of 4?
I loved 4. I was very taken back by Irvin's demeanor in this episode. I loved his grit that he had in this particular episode. So, yeah.
So this episode starts out. They're uh Mark is on the ice. Oh no, Mark is on top of the mountain. Irvin is on the
Mhm.
ice, and he's trying to
Mhm.
get off. He's separated by Dylan and
Helly.
and Helly, and they're all trying to get back together. And then they're trying to figure out exactly what they're doing, where in the forest, or in this snowy, tundra. So, and you kind of get the feeling, as Irv starts asking Helena about who she is, and what's she doing there, and all of that, and you everything has kind of come to pass. And there were um from Hollick, he kind of called it a little bit. He said that she was not uh Helly, she was in fact Helena.
Mhm.
And I think everybody kind of knew that going in,
Mhm.
but that we were just kind of waiting for it to be revealed. So
Mhm. Yeah. I agree. I think I think the same thing. Everybody kind of got to the point where we were comfortable with saying, okay, that's not the any, that's actually the Audi. But the way that they went about portraying it, I feel like was very well thought out in this particular episode. So just to go through again, Mark, like you said, is on top of the rock formation with Irving on the ice, and Mark tells him to, come on up, join him or whatever. Um, he comes across Helly at that time, and Dylan also comes out of absolutely nowhere, out of the tree line or something. Anyway, they end up seeing each other, and they see this this random TV on top of the on top of the rocks, and Mr. Milchick is on the TV telling them that they're having their first outdoor retreat and team building occurrence.
that
What they
dude
call Orba. What?
I, I it,
What?
it 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 has happened a few times, right, where they've gotten close to saying some shit to Milchek, but I'm telling you right now, I am waiting for somebody to explode, absolutely explode on Milchek. He, I don't know what he has over these people. I don't know if they're afraid of being fired or
I
if or what or being
I
beat up. Like I don't understand how he is intimidating these people like Mark and Dylan and Irvin and all this other stuff. You know, he just kind of looks at them and they just kind of cower in the corner.
well, I think they're afraid of not knowing, right? Like they don't know what he can or can't do. Like they don't know what the extent of his, we'll call it, wrath could be, what's accepted. And that is borne out by Irvin even saying, like, later on when they were on this quest or whatever, and him saying that he wanted to eat the, what was it, a dead seal or whatever that they came across, because he was because he was saying he didn't know if they were going to have food, things of that, like he in that moment he's saying we don't know if they're lying to us, we don't know what they can and can't do. So
Of
I
course they
think that
lying.
that
They've been lying the whole time.
answers your
The
question.
whole damn time.
Yes, I agree.
What does us being out here in the snow have to do with team building? Huh? What? Why are you wearing a fur, Milchek? Huh?
Cause,
Why you got
cause,
that on? Where you even get that? Where you get that at? Huh?
but
What store did you go get a matching fur and hat and jacket? Huh?
well, listen. When has he not been sharp? I mean, they can't make him suddenly, you know.
Melbato says it's punishment. It's punishment.
Melba, you think the Ortbo was punishment? They made it. They made. They portrayed it as so that they could learn more about, like, what about the Egans, about Kier, about Dieter Kier, because they didn't know that he had a twin. And this book 4 or whatever that was written, or volume 4, or what have you. Which I mean, so well, let's get into it, because Milchek tells them that they have to go on this quest and that they would be assisted, and they find out during this quest that they're assisted by themselves. So the first person that they ran across, well, the first person that showed up was Mark, pointing them in the direction that they needed to go. Ultimately, they ended up initially at Scissor Cave to retrieve uh, Kier's journal, um, which they ended up reading the journal while they continued their trek. Um, and parts of it that they was reading was nasty.
I I don't know. This is so. Looking back on it, Milchek keep bringing up all these weird subjects, right?
Mhm,
Like he brought up
mhm.
that weirdness at the campfire and
Weirdness.
asked everybody if
When
they
he killed his
recognized that
brother?
story. Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And everybody's like, what are you talking about, bro? You know, what is this about? So, I mean, I enjoy Milchek's character. I really
Mhm,
do. I think that he is that kind of opposition to Mark and Helena and everyone else kind of
mhm,
standing in her way. But I don't know why. I don't know what the fear is. If it's fear of being fired or terminated from the severance program altogether.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, I just don't know what is going on with him. Like he's not a regular boss, you know.
I feel like at the end of the day, when all of this comes to a head and everything is being put in its proper place, I have a feeling that he's gonna become an ally to them. I really do.
I mean, maybe.
You don't think so? Because
No,
you could tell,
he couldn't be my friend. Now that's all that shit he put me through.
but not a
I
friend.
would not be friends with Milchek. If he came over and was like, "Listen, I'm sorry." No, no, Milchek. No,
But
no,
someone that can help you, an ally? Someone
no,
someone
no. I don't need
Okay.
your help
All
now.
right.
I don't need it now. I needed it back then when we was
Oh
We was having
goodness.
waffle parties and stuff. Now you want to be friends because you on
Well,
the
you
outs.
you don't even have waffle parties anymore. As a matter of fact, so what happened was after they made it to Scissor Cave, read that little nasty passage that they was talking about, um, they ended up getting to a camp that was created for them. Did you notice when they got there that everything there was well, everything there was very specific. Like when he got there, he was like, Miss Wong's here and she's got the grill that's ready for the meats. The campfire they had, he said was for marshmallows and the recital. And he pulled out a torch and he said that was to be able to see and keep warm. No, put me next to the campfire, buddy. What are we
So
doing?
everything that they've done in the entire season, as a matter of fact, since the beginning, is
Right.
precise.
Yeah.
Like when Dylan's wife showed up, he didn't have
The
15
18
minutes with her.
minutes.
He didn't have 20 minutes with her. He had exactly 18 minutes with
Mm-hmm.
her. Now, I feel like there's some a reason for that, along with some of the other things that just seem to be regular clues or just regular things that are happening in passing. I think that they perhaps mean something. I can't be certain of that, but I'm just trying to figure it out right now.
Okay. Well, they did do it again in the ne- yeah, in the next episode. Um but but first, while they're getting to the camp, Irvin sees Mark and Helly having a conversation and he wants to know what they're talking about. And
Which is
he's
which is weird. I mean, it's not like he hasn't seen them talk before, you know.
right,
So
but now he is at the point where he is because he's in this wilderness and he doesn't know what's to happen and he doesn't trust her. He's like wanting to know what's going on. And Mark is like, I guess kind of asking the same question that you asked. He's like, what are you talking about? Like what conversation? Because it didn't stand out to him. And he says, night gardeners? Like he
yeah,
he's the only one that picked up on that night gardeners thing and no one else did. And he's trying to bring it to their attention and they're just like it's just going over their everybody
because
else's head.
they think he's being a little. They think he was being like Dylan was earlier in the season when he was talking about
Bert.
Bert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the painting. So I think they just felt like he was over exaggerating and they didn't need to listen to him. But I mean, he
Okay.
knew. He had his suspicions and he knew. He was
Yeah.
on it too. He was not messing around.
No.
Huh? I'm about to drown this mug.
So
I'm
well
telling you
wait.
right now. I don't know what your name is, Helena. Hell,
We're not even there yet. What are you talking about?
you right. You right. Go ahead. I don't want to jump ahead in the story.
Jeez. So my goodness, that part really got you, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Else that
Okay.
and another part, but we'll get there.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so
Hang on. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You enjoy the content.
sorry
Um,
guys.
we do shows during the week as well. I break down Dark. I break down other shows, movies, things like that. We do this
Mhm.
every Thursday
Friday.
or Friday from 8 to 10, depending on what we got going on. So come hang out with us. It's free. Just throw us a like if you can't subscribe. So yeah. All right. Go
All
ahead.
right. Okay. So after they get to the tent, Helly, I guess, in some knowing that Irving is kind of on to her. That's me, my personal thought, but she goes to him and she offers him this stupid snow seal. But he is like, listen, tell me what really happened. And did you see the look that she gave him?
Yeah.
Yeah, her at that point is when I feel like he really, really knew that that was her outie and not her any. But the part in which that moves forward more is when they're doing the recital at the campfire, and Milchick is reading the story about Dieter and how he was basically killed by here. Um, and Irvin asks, "Is every word of that true?" And then that's kind of what kicks off like Helly and her snickering and making like these really odd remarks um about the nasty things that
Keep dragging this shit out.
I can't
The
say it. I can't say
so
it. I won't
I
say it rather.
I understand what Irvin was trying to get to, because he'd always been skeptical of Helena and her story,
Mhm.
or
Mhm. Yep.
Helly and her story.
Mhm.
And I guess it had just come full circle since they were out there, and she just kept reiterating the same story. And now
Mhm.
he wanted to know what janitor she was talking about, and she didn't have an answer. There was nothing
Mhm.
she could give him right off the bat. And I think Helena thought that because of her I don't know what you want to call it, her stage in life, like where she is in this company, like she felt
Mhm.
like she was better than Mark, Irving, and or all the innies. I felt like she
Mhm.
thought that she could just pull one over on them, no problem, because they were stupid.
Right.
You know, they're just innies. They're not even real people. They're just like this half of a real person.
Right.
So I feel like she learned the hard way that everybody in here ain't no fool. So
Well, I agree. I think excuse me. I think just to piggyback off of what you said, that her I guess her logic was kind of like they only have these experiences inside these four walls, so how would they even know to ask like probing questions, you know what I mean, like to question me. But when they're at the campfire and he's asked, so he again asks her about this night gardener, but now he's doing it in front of Dylan and Mark. And he talks about Mark's pupils making love making love to her.
yeah, yeah.
But go ahead.
I think this is for a lot of reasons, especially in the next episode that we're going to talk about. Dylan is my favorite. I swear, Dylan is my favorite character because he says the dumbest shit.
He does.
He says the dumbest stuff, and in a situation where you think, okay, this is kind of serious. No, not for Dylan. It is not serious for Dylan. Dylan is finna make everybody just look at him look crazy. Like, what are you talking about? So I
I
think
think that
that's why he's my favorite character, and the relationship that Dylan has with Irvin, I think was another great point, that happens later on in this episode. But I really like the friendship between Dylan and Irvin. So
so do I. But I think the thing with this that made me a little upset with Irvin, um, or not Irvin, rather, with Dylan was his inability to use his thinking faculties as he usually does and question what was going on. He was not sorry guys, my daughter just came down here. Was not was not taking what Irvin was saying and digesting it and trying to question like he usually does. So that was the only thing that kind of bothered me a little bit. Um, but um, Helly goes on to say when Irvin is questioning her, she goes on to say and make a statement like, "Oh, he's just mad because he can't see Bird again," and things of that nature. And
yeah,
um
yeah, and that's when I think that's when he knew, because he told her. He said what you said at the campfire was cruel, and Helly
mhm.
was never cruel. And I think that put him over the top. And I'm gonna be honest, I did not see him drowning her ass. I did not see that being a thing that he was going to do. You
No,
know,
not at all.
So, but I mean, it was good. If you want my honest opinion, when he was talking to Dylan, well, Dylan, he was turning and looking up on the mountain, talking to Dylan. I honestly thought she was going to like stab him or shoot him or something because it had that feel like because she was found out and she
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what he was going to do. So it just looked to me like all right, so Irvin is finna eat it right now. But that's not what happened. He actually got over, you know. He
Mm-hmm.
actually got over. He was able to show everyone,
Mm-hmm.
Mark, Dylan, and had her begging for him to stop or for Milchek, aka Seth, to flip the switch and have her go to be Helly, right? So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Um, there's still some parts though that I don't quite understand about this show.
What's
What
that?
is the importance of Mark? What is his
Oh,
importance? Like, what is he? Why is he specifically so important? More so
yeah.
than Irving, Dylan, or well, I know uh, Helly is the daughter of the one who started everything, but why is Mark so important? You know,
They made reference to him again in the next episode and his importance, but they haven't specifically outlined what that is. Yeah, maybe they'll get into that. Hopefully they'll outline some portion of that before the end of the season and give us more information. At least like a little shading to that. So we'll see.
so I feel like you said earlier, or somebody said earlier that Milchek, or you said earlier that Milchek will probably be the one to help Mark and all them. I feel
Eh,
like it's going to be Helena. I think she's going
well,
to turn because her father, the way her father's treating her, the way the board is kind of treating her, you just kind of get the feeling like things are changing for her. And she didn't have to smash Mark,
yeah, well
right? She didn't have
that
to
was the
smash Mark,
only
and she
thing.
did.
That well,
So
that was my only thing. I figured that she is in love with the idea of being in love. I'm not necessarily sure that it's
I
in love
agree.
with him.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I do feel like because of the relationship that she felt that they were able to build, that will probably be something that she wants to salvage to some degree or whatever, I don't know.
So yeah,
Um
yeah,
but
yeah. She was willing to go back in. Well, not to jump ahead, but she was willing to go back in as herself.
yeah.
She was like,
Mhm.
"Fine, I'll go back. I'll go back in again." She was almost killed as Helena, right? And she was quick to say, "Yeah, I'll go back. I'll go back in. It's fine. It's not a big deal." Right?
Mhm.
But the second they told her she was going to go back as Helly, it was like, "Oh, they tried to kill me." Irvin, you saw what Irvin tried to do. He tried to
Oh,
drown me. You can't you
okay.
can't send me back in there.
Okay, well, that's jumping ahead into the next episode, but I will pose a question when we get there in the next episode
Okay.
because I understand what you're saying, but I question what you're saying.
I got a question. I got a
Go
question for
ahead.
you and everybody else that's in this
All
thread.
right, get it.
Real quick, like, share, subscribe, enjoy the content. How, right? Because Irving got up in the middle of the night and left,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And he went to go sleep somewhere, like on a log or whatever. Mark gets up looking for Helly,
Helly. Mhm.
and when they don't see him,
When they don't see
her,
her.
they
Mm.
call for. He called
Milchick.
for Milchek, right?
Mhm.
We don't know where Hella
From
went.
nowhere.
We don't know where Helena went. We don't know where Irvin went. How? How do you not know? Look down. It snowed.
Snow.
The
Yeah.
entire time there's only two sets of tracks. They go this way and they go that way. So either they went this way
Mm.
or they which way?
I think
They
maybe
went
that's
that way.
the
So
naivety of being any
how
maybe.
are you lost? Huh? There's footsteps right there. Just look down and follow them janks. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Where'd they go, Mr. Milchek? Look down, stupid. Right there below your feet.
Stupid. Huh? Well, anyway, but we're at that point that you're very specifically talking about, and this is when Irving. This is the moment that for me was like the most powerful scene that I think Irving's had throughout the entire series thus far. When he, because now, like you said, they're starting to look for Irvin. They're starting to look for Helly. Irvin comes upon Helly at the waterfall again that morning, and he just grabs her up, snatches her little raggedy behind, and just takes her into the water, or at the water's edge, and starts screaming for Milchick.
Yeah, he was gonna drown the absolute shit out of her ass. She was just gonna be drinking all that cold water. Listen, I loved that scene.
Me too.
Not only because he was proven to be right, but because he had stood up for himself, and he was not that dude, right? He was not that guy. He was the guy that would back down even more, I think, than Mark. But he stood up for himself. And when Milchek came up to him and was like, I'm gonna terminate you. You ain't gonna do nothing. And he got in Milchek's face, son. I cannot tell you how amped I was. He just walked up to Milchek, got in his face,
no cares,
and just looked at him with that smirk. I was like, "That is a boss move." Get him. Get him. Get his ass. Tell him you are not afraid. I'm not afraid of you, Milchek. Nope. Huh? You know your fur. I ain't afraid of none of that. Huh? Your little cheap jacket. Made out of mongoose. Anybody worried about you, Millie?
Mongoose. What?
You might sweat you, Milchek. Huh? What kind of name is that anyway?
Oh my goodness. So for those of you who may not understand the specific scene that we're talking about, Irving gets Helly over by the water's edge, and he just starts plunging her head into the water and telling Milchick to turn her back and screaming that she's an outie. Turn her back. And after a few of him putting her in and pulling her back out, she says, "God damn it, Seth, just do it." And he says, "Yes, do it, Seth." Did you hear how he said Seth's name?
Do it, Seth. Yeah. It was pretty good. I'm tired of the show playing with my feelings though, right?
Why?
I'm
What's
tired
wrong?
of the show playing with my feelings because Mark, at the beginning of the season, Mark walked into Milchek's office demanding to know where his people were at, and then the second Milchek got in his face, he shut it down, right? And in that episode, Irvin got in his face after Milchek yelled at him with that smirk, like, "You don't control me. You don't run this," right? And I'm waiting for Irvin to tell him about himself. Say something, Irvin. Tell him you ain't nobody. You ain't nobody. I'm not listening to you more.
But he can't. He has to walk that line. And the reason he does, because he does, Smitty, because listen, remember earlier in the episode when they were around the campfire and that little girl Helly and Mark were giggling and whatnot, and Milchek took all the marshmallows and threw them into the fire as punishment for them all.
What kind of villain does shit like that? What kind of hey man, what kind of monster does stuff like that? Huh? Why you gotta go throw all the marshmallows in the thing? I'm sorry. Is that what you want to hear? Like I don't understand why you would do that. Why would you do that? Right? We gotta be out here in this cold, stupid weather, and you're gonna throw all the goddamn. And they did it too. He was like,
they did. But my point is, he has to walk that line because now you don't know what he would potentially do to the people that you love, the people that you care about. So I agree with you, but he has to be careful. He has to be careful. You never know.
Lisa Wright says only team players get marshmallows. I'd have got me one. When he turned his back, I'd have reached into that fire and got me one hot ass marshmallow. And
seriously,
Yup. Seriously. Seriously. Yup.
Okay.
I'd have been fishing for some of the marshmallows. Get them out.
Anyway, because of Irving's actions, he is fired immediately on the spot, and he is pretty much told, which kind of broke my heart. Like, why do we have to tell him that it's going to look like he's never been anywhere on the
Because
earth or
Milchek was
whatever?
pissed.
I
Milchek was
mean,
he was mad. Milchek was hot. I mean, I think Milchek was talking trash. I don't know, but it I don't. Maybe that's his way of talking trash. You will never henceforth be allowed to
that's
live
right. Yeah.
with your face.
Well, very quickly, because we didn't name what it was, what they did to Helly, and what was removed to allow her any to be present again, was the glass glow block. And they refer to it like once or twice or whatever, but just in case anybody was curious about what it was, that's what it's called. Yeah, but he tells him that he's fired, and then like he Dylan is like, Irving, I'm sorry I didn't believe you, and he tells him, hang in there. And then that's when Milchek says, no more conversation between, like, it's not permitted between. Yeah, now you got it. Next episode. Yeah. That's your bing bing moment, buddy.
I just got that.
Yeah,
I
okay. All right.
just got it. Shut up.
Everybody else see that light bulb go off. All right.
Yep.
So, okay, so that was the ending of episode 4. Excuse me. Episode
Yeah.
5. Did you see who was in the beginning of episode 5? Do you know who that was? Whistling and
Uh,
pushing the little cart?
I do not. I
It's
do
Ben
not.
Stiller.
Was it?
I believe so. I paused it and everything because when he turned around on the elevator, I believe that was Mr. Stiller.
So you don't know.
I'm making that claim. I'm
You don't
planting my
know. You
flag
don't.
right
You don't
there. It
know.
was him. It was him.
You don't know. I really like the opening. Once again, we
Oh
are
boy.
thrust into Milchek's office. Mark, Helly, who is finding out for the first time that Helena had taken her place.
She feels violated with that, by the way.
She does, which is odd, right? Because she feels like it's her body, not the other way around, which is a different perspective on things. But you see everyone is upset and they're all yelling at Milchek. Where's Irvin? Where's Irvin? What are you guys doing with what have you done with Irvin? Is he dead? and Milchek is trying to kind of quell all of these feelings, and Dylan ain't having it. Okay, Dylan is not having it. He said, I don't give a dry I don't give a dry what you talking about. I want to know where Irvin is at. And then in true Milchek form, Milchek looks at Irvin and just says, "Excuse me." And then at Dylan. Looks at Dylan, he says, "Excuse me," and then he stops. He stops. No one
They
is
all
going to
did.
say
They all did, because all 3 of them were coming after him. They all stopped.
I'm sick of Milchek. Lisa Wrights is not, apparently, though. Lisa Wrights loves Milchek. She says he always looks clean. I think Milchek is a pain in the ass. And
I don't. I don't. I think there is an additional part of his story that we will get to, that will maybe give us a little bit more insight, but I don't want to write him off just yet. Like, yeah, he grates my nerves or what have you, but I don't want to write him off just yet. Not there just yet. Because well, I don't want to write him off just yet. Not yet.
okay, so we open with Mark being in his house taking some pills. He's trying to cope with the fact that he's been
Reintegrated.
severed, or reintegrated, and he's starting to experience some symptoms, but nothing nothing too crazy as of right now, but he's not doing well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody thinks it's kind of back to work as usual. And then we are sitting in front of, I guess, what is essentially the talking heads for the board, right? The
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
the large gentleman and the
Natalie
who's
and the
yeah, Natalie,
security guard Drummond, or I think that's his
right.
name. Mm-hmm.
So you find out in this room during this conversation, you find out that Mark is more important than we once thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's on the verge of completing some task that they need him to complete. As a matter of fact, Irving and Dylan and everyone else around him is not really essential to
They're
what is going
supporting
on.
cast.
Right.
But yeah, they're supporting cast members.
So it's Mark that they need for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, and that the
Mm-hmm.
work is almost done. So
81%, I think, is what they said.
correct,
Mm-hmm.
correct. So, and I think yeah, it's 81%. So again, I don't know what it is. What do you guys think? What do you guys think he's working on? What do you think that Mark is close to finishing? Do you think this is just to show that Severance works, or is it part of a bigger program that we don't know anything about yet?
Well, I have another question for you
Yep.
while we're waiting on those responses. If Mark was that important, how come he wasn't initially made the team lead? Like, why was that the Petey who died in the first season? Why was he the team lead?
I don't know. Maybe that was another part of the test. You know, maybe it was another part of the test. Who
Maybe.
I mean, maybe his friend was actually supposed to play the role that he was actually supposed to play. So I don't know. It was suggested
Mm-hmm.
by one of the people in the Discord. By the way, if you're not signed up for the Discord, go ahead and do that. We talk about this show and other shows like it after the show. So I feel like I don't know. There's just an underlining here that
Oh, brother, you froze.
between the right, there we go. We good?
Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
All right. There we go. All right. So I'm just trying to figure out what the underline is to all these characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't know if we'll find out this season, but what do you think?
Well, I didn't hear your question because you froze. So
Oh, well, I'm saying, what do you think? What do you think about Mark's importance? Like, what do you think what do you think they're
his
trying to get out of him?
oh, um, I don't know, because whatever he is working on is still those stupid numbers in the little boxes, which he kind of later on in this episode confronts Milchek about, kind of making it seem like he doesn't believe that they're of any form of significance at all. But I don't know what those numbers represent. Do or I don't even have a clue as to what they could potentially represent. Do you? I know
No, and
someone previously
I'm
said
not
like
100
people's
percent
consciousness.
certain. I'm not 100% certain that the numbers on the screen are exactly what they're after. I Mark is hardly at his desk,
No,
right?
he's
He
not.
is rarely at his desk. So a lot of his time is spent talking to
The
the other three
group.
people in the room
Mhm.
and being elsewhere with Helly, like
Mhm.
walking all over the this complex.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just I don't know what his purpose could be, but I hope I get to find out more about it before the end of this season. So
Mhm. Yeah, he kind of references that later on in this episode, which we'll ultimately get to, but This is where in this episode, like you were saying, is when Helly finds out that she is required to go back onto the severed floor, and she, like you said previously, agreed, yeah, I'll go back as myself, but not as my any. And they said no, actually your father made the suggestion, and you're going to go back as your any. Now, for me, the reason why she didn't want to go back as her any was so that she could maintain control, because she referenced Helly trying to harm her, and then she referenced Irvin trying to harm her, and she referred to them as animals. So
Yeah, that hurt me. I was like, what? Animals. Yeah.
animals.
I don't know. I hate I hate her outie. You know, she just feels like everything should go her way. You know.
Well, she's rich,
Yeah, that
man.
is true. That would explain a lot. That would explain a lot. So, um, Mark has kind of been cold a little bit. He's not really
A lot
acting
of it.
himself. He's not um showing that he, really cared about Irvin, especially during this fake funeral that they had. So
So
I don't
what do
know
you
if,
attribute that to?
well, at first I thought he was just trying to fool Milchek, and he was just trying to like he was just trying to keep his thoughts to himself while he did some undercover stuff. But
Mhm.
it looks like he's really thinking about how he was duped. Not
Mhm.
duped. I don't really understand how he can be this upset, but he was tricked by Helena to have an intercourse, and he's upset. Like, he's mad. I
In what aspect are you making that reference? Or just because he
He's pissed off at her. He's
was
mad at
able
her.
to have, yeah, but you're saying you don't understand why. Are you saying that you don't understand why just because he was able to get laid, or that you don't understand why because of
Well, I mean, he's smashed. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. So, can you really be mad at her? I'm sorry. I slept with the other you. My apologies.
I think his anger comes down to that, absolutely. But I feel like it also comes down to, he feels in a sense that he's failed his group, right? He failed
Yeah.
not recognizing that it wasn't Helly, and Irving having to be the one to take that step and end up being um removed from the group. So that's the and this is the moment where I was saying that they did another stupid time thing. I think they were given 9 minutes for the funeral and the I don't
Yeah. Who
understand.
who is thinking
No,
up this
no,
weird
not
stuff,
nine
man?
minutes. They did
Who
9 seconds for them to have a moment of silence, is what it was. 9 seconds. I'm like, I don't. 9 seconds. All right,
who yeah. And the who's the little girl?
Miss Wong.
Annoying me. Annoying
Yeah,
me to
I don't like
no
her either.
end.
I don't like
No
her
end.
either.
And whose idea was it to make a watermelon face of Irvin?
Oh my
That
god,
was trippy. I wouldn't even
it
looked
was
at that. I'm like,
terrible. It just looked like muscle.
it looks just like him. You got to get that out of here.
Mm-mm,
I don't want to
mm-mm.
look at that. I damn sure ain't gonna eat it. Huh? I am not eating that at all. Thank you.
um,
But yeah, I don't understand why Mark couldn't have shown his feelings towards the loss of Irvin, because he didn't know if he was dead. They're assuming that he's dead, and I understand why, and I probably would think he also was dead, especially after what Milchek said.
but I don't think that they think that he's dead. They refer to, just like Irvin referred to Bert when Bert left, and you find out later on in this episode why. But just like Irvin referred to Bert to like Felicia and I think the rest of their group when Bert retired as him dying, because they're saying this person as the any will no longer be a thing. So the any is dead. Yes, in a
Yeah.
sense.
So what was it that Irvin told Dylan in the previous episode?
Ha-
What did he tell him?
hang in there.
Hang in there.
Yep. And your
Do
bing
you
bing
know if
moment
he'd have told
was
if he'd have told me that, I'd have been
it
like, all right, you too,
in
buddy.
one ear out the next.
Yep. I would have thought twice about that. He told me to hang in there. That's what I'm
Hang
gonna
in
do.
there.
Huh? Old Irvin pulling for me, trying to make sure I'm staying. I'd have looked at that. I would have looked at that poster 1,000 times and would have been like,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have thought nothing about it. Nothing.
Well, okay, well, you have to tell everybody what you're talking about, sir.
So, uh, in the previous episode, Irvin looks at Dylan and he tells Dylan to hang in there. And in the last episode, or in this episode, the previous episode that came out yesterday,
Episode 5.
they're in the they're in the break room, and Dylan is he's the last one in the break room, and he's looking at the watermelon
Mm-hmm.
head of Irvin.
Missing an ear at this point.
Was it?
Yep.
So it's kind of looking at the direction of a poster, and the poster says "Hang in there,"
Mhm.
and Dylan goes up to. That's one of 3 or 4 posters in the room, and Dylan goes up to the poster, looks behind it, and sees the picture of the door with the red marker over it, and there are directions on the back of that piece of paper as to how to get there.
Did you read those directions? I
It
paused
looked like
it.
it looked like chicken
I
scratch.
I no, I was able to pause it and read it.
I just saw out of all that stuff, all I saw was left. That's all I got out of that entire paragraph of nonsense. That's all I saw. Left.
No, no, no. It says it starts out from dad. First turn right all the way down the hall and turn right, turn left, down a long hall, turn left, turn right, left, right, left, left, down long hall and turn right, then left, right, turn one more
All right, man.
time, and all the way down a long hallway.
Did you write Did you write it down?
I did. Left, right.
You wrote it down?
I did. I wanted to because it looked ridiculous.
You know what else is ridiculous?
Me writing it down.
Yeah. That also is ridiculous.
But anyway, but hold on, just to back up a little bit. So just to kind of I guess bring home more what you're saying with regard to Mark and everything like that. Did you notice how when Helly kind of confronted him and was saying basically what you're saying, like it's not my fault, like I didn't do anything, and
Yeah.
he finally says they're smarter than us, like they knew everything that they were doing, and basically he turns that back on her and says because they had you as a spy.
I mean, he's frustrated. He knows deep down that it's not her fault. But
Mm-hmm.
she gave up the booty, and
Oh.
he mad. He feel tricked. Huh? He feel tricked. He didn't sleep with his girl. He slept with a stranger, and it's bothering him. It's
But
hurting him to the core.
but you
He don't know
saw
what to do with that.
but you
He didn't
saw
sleep with Helly. He slept with Helena.
oh my
They're
god.
not the same person. They're not the same person. I still think I still don't know what he's crying about. Be honest with you.
Well,
Oh, was
here's
it
the
you?
other
Oh man, I got
but
tricked.
here's the other part that we didn't even divulge about episode 4 when he slept with her. The reintegration process is starting to work because when he slept with her, he saw um Miss Casey's face.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's seen a few things.
well,
That
yeah,
was
but I'm just talking
one
about
of them.
episode 4.
Yeah.
So that's probably trippy for him too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, but it still
So
doesn't.
tell me
It
you
still
wouldn't be all like, well, wait a doggone minute.
Would I be like what? What?
If
What?
you
what?
if you were if you were sleeping with somebody and then suddenly their face in your mind turned to someone else's face,
You mean the fact that he saw a woman who he does not really know?
but he knows what who she is to your outie.
He don't. So I know who the mailman is, but that don't mean shit to me. I don't care. I know that dude is coming every single
You are
day around 1 o'clock,
terrible.
but
Oh
I
my
don't care.
god.
It doesn't mean anything to him. He doesn't
Oh,
care. He is in love
but he
with
does
Helly.
care to some degree because he is looking for her for his outie.
He does. And I'll tell you something else I didn't know. I thought that Helly knew that it was his Audi's wife. I thought
Oh,
she
you know
knew
what? I didn't
this.
even pick up on that. You're right. You're right.
Did she not know this?
It doesn't
Why did
sound
she
like
think
it.
he was running all over this complex looking for just this woman? What did she think?
Well, no, 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 no. Helly didn't know. Helena knew.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. 100% right. That's right. Because
Okay.
Helen didn't show up until Helly didn't show up till last episode. You're right. That's a good catch. Absolutely right.
All right. All right. All
Yep.
right. So did you see the part about the review? Milcheck. So just to back up real quick, um, and I'm guessing that part of the reason why you can't stand Miss Wong is because of what she said to Milcheck as they were getting ready for the funeral for Irving. When she said, isn't your first review coming up or something like that?
No. Yeah. So she said, "May I ask you? Can I can I ask you a question?" And then she said something. And he told her he said that's not a question. She said, isn't your first it kind of check coming up soon?" And he was like, yeah, but I think he's just about as tired of her as I am. You know, I think he about as tired of talking and listening to her is who hired this woman. Who who
Girl,
who gave you a job?
girl,
Who
who
gave you a
hired
job?
this
Who
girl?
who hired you? Go get him. Tell him come on down here.
But I
But
bring that up because later on in this episode, he has his review. And did you see how he approached Natalie prior to him going in for his
yes,
review and the
yes,
conversation that they had?
yes. So I
Okay.
think yeah. Go ahead. You tell me
No,
what you
no, go
thought.
ahead. No, no, go ahead.
So I think it was the same thing as last week. I think that he noticed that I think he felt the same thing that we all saw, that she maybe wanted to convey or communicate something to him, and he wanted to give it another try. He wanted to see if maybe she would open up, if she
Mm-hmm.
kind of opened that if he kind of opened that door, maybe she would walk through it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I think
Was
she would have if
mm-hmm.
they'd have had more time, but they had an interview to go to. She had to take him there, and you can kind of see on her face like she looked like she wanted to cry a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Her acting is amazing. Number
All of
one,
their acting. Yeah.
she she was like halfway between crying and trying to hold it in so that she can do her job. And you could
Mm-hmm.
tell that she wanted to connect with Milchek,
Mm-hmm.
but she just couldn't. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she just couldn't. And he put himself out there, and she realized that, or he realized that she can't do this right now, or if at all. So but he tried. Watching Milchek be vulnerable, kind of hoping that she would be vulnerable, was pretty cool. Talking about them messed up pictures that they received, full racist ass pictures. That's what he was trying to ask. He was like, "Did you see this bullshit? Did you see these racist pictures? Did you get these racist pictures too? Huh? What'd you think about that?
I said she
How you
got
feel
him.
about that?"
But now, is that the setting in which you would have approached this? I don't think I would have approached it in that. Like, I would have done it.
You
I
wouldn't.
don't think I would. I I would have asked her. I just don't think I would have asked her there, like in that moment.
I think Milchek was a lot cooler than I would have been because I'd have probably showed up with them pictures and yo, did you get
You
these? Did you get
stupid.
these? You see this bullshit? You see?
Stupid.
Did you get these? You got these exact ones? I'd have probably been rude with it. I don't know.
Dumb. You so dumb.
I don't know what possessed them to do that and think that here you go, look here we replace white folks with black folks and you're welcome. What is this? What is going on? Oh, we gave them to everybody, so you don't have to thank us.
Yeah, but
You just
I'm
kind of take these,
wondering
hang them up
if
in your
that
office.
was done. I wonder if the test, quote unquote, for that was done with Natalie, and because there was no pushback at that time, they thought it was okay. I don't know. I don't even want to speculate, but we're gonna just keep on moving right along past that. But did you hear what they were talking about in his review? The problems that he was
Yeah,
having, that he
yeah.
was using
You
too many
use too
big
many
words.
words. Use too many words. You put a what was the other thing? Like you put a
A
pen back
pen, say
the wrong
paperclip.
way.
Uh
Yeah, and we who would know how to start a sentence? What, bruh? Like I,
huh.
I didn't understand what was going on. If that's it, because he put a pen back wrong, he used too many words.
Well,
You
and
got gigs for
obviously
that?
the Ortbo issue. But this is when he is told Mark's completion of the Cold Harbor will happen under his tenure, and that whatever this is, because he tells him that this will be the greatest achievement of mankind.
Yeah, I think they're just blowing smoke because they just want him to feel part of this. They want him to want to feel like he's a part of something special and that he should
Hmm.
want to do this. Um, I think Melba has a good point. I want to, if there's
What's
anybody
that?
out there that's part of corporate America, how close, how close is this show to? I mean, other than people sitting in a green room all by themselves and walking around these blank halls, I understand that part. But like, as far as like Milchek and a lot of this, are there any similarities between what these people are going through and what you would have to go through? A
Mhm.
crooked paperclip. That's what it was. A crooked paperclip. Who would know where to start reading with the crooked paperclip?
I don't know. You just read front to back, as far as I know. But whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Um, go ahead. What
no,
you
no,
got?
no. I was just gonna continue on with Mark's any. It seems like Mark's any is the one, up until the end of this episode, is the one that's having the most symptoms of the reintegration process that he's suffering.
Yeah. So
Um,
this again, this was probably my favorite part of the entire episode of this episode, right? Because Milchek is essentially told that, listen, you got to stop with all this trying to reach out and be
mhm,
kind and all this other stuff because what you're doing is not working. He still wants his team back,
mhm.
and you're trying to do all this team building stuff, and we don't like it. So you need to start cracking that whip and get these
Right.
folks back in line. And he essentially has to agree, otherwise he kind of feels like he's going to be pulled as lead from this project for whatever it is, and he has to try to get everybody back in line. But Mark goes full, like, he turns into his Audi while he's sitting at his desk, and then he gets up and he leaves 6 minutes early.
Oh yeah.
You tell me what you thought about that.
I thought that was Milchek trying to do a power move. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. I With him, especially getting into his space very close to him. But that's also when Mark is kind of like, I'm on to you, buddy. I'm not
I
taking none of
loved it.
you.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved
Yeah.
it. What did he say to him? He was like, "Oh, are you talking about that? You
He
talking about the
asked if Miss Wong was doing, if she took notes at the funeral for the BS Gazette or whatever.
bullshit?" I loved that. He again, you're in another situation where he does not shy away from Milchek. Milchek thinks he has the upper hand,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets in Mark's face, and Mark is telling him, "Listen, I don't care about what you're doing because it's the outie now. It's like it's not the innie, and this Mark can choose to walk away if he wants because he's the outie." So Milchek kind of gets in his face and he tells him about Helly
Mm-hmm.
and asks him if you told her that you guys had relations yet. Have you told her that you slept with her outie?
See, I thought that was a disgusting display. I,
What do you
th- I
mean?
th- First of all, what were you was your ear pressed up against the doggone tent? What are we doing?
I mean, he was he's trying to maintain power over Mark and everyone else. Yeah, they was outside in the woods. They was in the woods. Wasn't nothing else to listen to. What else did you gonna hear? I think that's Mark. I think that's Mark and Helly. Yeah,
Stupid.
they getting it in over there. They getting it
Oh,
in.
stop.
So I feel like that I don't know. Milchek is trying to hang on
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't really like what he has to do. I don't think,
Mm-mm. I agree.
but he wants to be part of this. In order for him to maintain that power and that control, he has to do this. He has to keep things in line.
Well, yeah, and I feel like he saw his job being threatened with this
Right.
ridiculous review.
Right.
Um yeah, so him trying to maintain and hold on, and him trying to be at the forefront of whatever Mark's about to do, which is um going to be the greatest achievement of mankind, or whatever
Yeah.
nonsense he was
Yeah.
saying.
That's
So,
the smoke blowing up his butt, trying to make him stay. But yeah, I want to know what Mark is doing. Like, why is he important to this group?
mhm.
What is he almost done doing? You know.
Mhm. Well, we didn't
But
talk about my favorite part yet. We
what?
kind of skipped over it.
Okay.
Bert and Irving, they meet up outside
They did.
when Irving goes to the phone booth again and makes another phone call. Did you hear what he said on the phone call?
No.
He tells the person on the other end of the phone that he's been fired, and he thinks they knew what his innie was up to. What was Irvin doing?
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that. I don't know. I don't know.
Mhm.
I thought about that too. So I think someone in the Discord had suggested that Mark's brother-in-law was working for Lumen. I think that was
He is.
Fletch. I think it was Fletch. You think he is?
He he very specifically is. Remember, Natalie approached him to redo his book, and him and Devin got into an argument. I believe it was in this episode, because Devin was reading the book and was saying it's opposite everything that he wrote in the initial book, which prompted them to approach him. And his thing is, yeah, but I'll be paid, like we'll have money. So he is working for them,
Right, but is
unless
is
it
he
was
really
intended in
working
a
for
different.
them? Is he really working for them, or is he just like I don't know, just kind of like they just threw that offer to him so they can keep an eye on Mark, a closer eye on Mark, because they lost Selvig, right? Selvig used to be that eyes and ears that were next to Mark that could keep an eye on him at all times, right?
Mhm,
Now
mhm.
she's gone, so in order to keep tabs on him, they're going to use his own family.
Yeah,
No,
no, I agree. That makes sense.
how
That
did
makes
her? How
sense.
did, how did his sister and this idiot meet anyway? Like he's they don't they don't look like they go together. You
They
know,
don't. Well,
they don't look like they go together at all. Where would they have
maybe
met at?
maybe he's funny and he's got
No, no, he ain't that. He is not that. He is not that at all. Nope.
a.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, so back to Bert Irving. So um you realize that it Bert did not know who Irvin was until Irvin came to his door, pounding on the door and screaming. And then you also find out that that Bert was fired from his job. He didn't retire.
Right.
He was fired from his job because of the relationship that he was having with Irving.
Of course. Who didn't know that?
I thought he
Did you really
retired.
think he just retired? He just quit?
Mm-hmm.
Why? He fell in love with Irvin. He was just like, you know what? Today's a good day. I'm just gonna call it quits.
But it's not
Bye,
him
everyone.
that would. But it's not him that would decide. It's his Audi that would decide.
No, they told us out. It was like, look here, check this out. Like you doing a lot of wrong in there. Okay, a lot of bad stuff. All right. Stuff you're not even working anymore. All right, you combing your hair. You're gonna go see another man down the hall. It's ugly
Listen,
for everybody.
he is
So
trying to be.
I like that they got back together. Honest with you, because I thought Irvin was actually dead. Right. I was hoping he wasn't.
No, you didn't.
I did. I honestly
Oh,
believe that he did because
okay.
Milchek was pissed.
He
He
can't
was
just. But he
pissed.
can't. But he can't just go around offing people.
What?
He can't just go around offing people.
Did you see what they did to my man in the funeral home? They dug into his brain and pulled out a chip in a
But he.
funeral home.
But he was
You think they
already.
care? You think they care? I think they
Okay.
was gonna kill. I think they was gonna dust off Selvig if she'd have gone into that building.
Oh yeah.
You you don't
But
think that
she.
these people would?
But there's a difference between Selvig and Irvin. Selvig was never severed. So he just you just can't kill. Okay, never mind.
What you mean? Melba says the
Well,
Innie is dead. Innie
yeah, the
is
Any is dead, yes, because he no longer in theory exists because he cannot switch back into the Any unless he goes back onto the severed floor. Yes. So the Any, for all intent and purposes, is deceased. So that other personality no longer exists. But as far as Irving, period, as a viable individual person, a sentient being, he's still alive.
I mean, that's the way all of them are going to go unless they find a way to kind of meld like the way Mark has done. I mean, I wouldn't recommend that to everybody. Just like and just get a headache and now you're somebody else. But unless they find a way to meld the two, like he's just gonna be, he's just gonna be out there. Like they're all gonna die unless they learn how to fix this. You know, I think it's an unintended consequence
But
of
you
something that
thought that,
they didn't foresee coming.
right? But you
They didn't think that there were going to be other personalities.
right. I agree with that. But you thought the Audi of Irving, that they just offed the whole entire person of Irving.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because um while he didn't know what was going on inside, right? There had been a moment where they weren't severed and they were outside, right? So I don't know what he knew or they didn't know what he knew, and I didn't know if they could risk that kind of getting out. But clearly they don't care. So
Mm-hmm.
Irvin is out walking around, and
Mm-hmm. And now
he
he's got a
hooked up with Bert.
yeah. And
Right,
now
Bert.
they have a date. Yeah.
They do have a date because Bert is smart. He figured it out. He was like, "Listen, you was banging on my door, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't know. I didn't know why a hot guy like you was knocking on my door."
That I
And I
don't
was like,
think that's
look at Bert
I don't
trying to get at him.
I th-
Bert trying to
I
throw in the
think what
game.
he said was, you got me in trouble with my significant other. You need to come over for dinner so that we, the three of us, can all sit down and discuss
Bert
it.
throwing it down. He is not wasting any time. He is not wasting time. I've been checking you out every night in that phone booth.
I don't think that's what he okay.
He was every time. Every night he goes to the phone booth, he just be sitting there watching like old creep. Just watch him like, yeah,
He
let's press the
well
numbers. It is
whatever.
weird. Like, who does that and doesn't say hi? You know
Well,
what I'm
he
saying?
does, but okay, if you look at it from his perspective, you had this man knocking on your door. You don't know his purpose, what he was there for. He's a loon. So are you really just going to be, you
So
know,
we'll just drive over by his house and watch him every single night, sitting in my car while it's running, watch you on a payphone, just staring at you.
from a
And
distance?
that's less that's not crazy at all, right? That's not crazy at all. That's not loopy at all. It's I'm glad they got back together, right? I'm glad they found one another. I'm glad they kind of get to start something. Bert reached, like, he really, really reached,
What you mean?
right? Well, he said that you were knocking on my door, like, saying my name, right?
Hmm.
And then he just instantly thought that, you know, that they were love, or that they were in love at work, right? That's a huge reach. Like, you got to fish a little bit more, throw a little bit more information out there before you start thinking, listen, I put two and two together and I feel like we was in love at work. You can't do that. You can't do
Well,
that.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say potentially the reason why he was able to get to that point is if he's the age that he is and have never had anyone banging down his door for him, and then you're fired from your job saying that you had an illicit affair or whatever with someone at work. I'm just within a very short period of time from him being fired also.
But that could have been anything. Like, it just could have been an emergency, you know? It
But
just could have
if
been an
it's
emergency. He didn't even know he worked for Lumen, right? He just been
but
like, so did you did you want to holler at me? No, you left your jacket at work, you freak. Get away from me. Don't deal with none of this. Like, he didn't know
seriously.
why he was knocking on the door, right? It could have been anything, is all I'm
Right.
saying. But it turned out to be that he, that they were meant to be, and that they kind of got together. Bert's husband, huh? He
Hmm.
wasn't putting it down, and now
Wow. Wow.
he
Wow.
wasn't putting it down, and now he's looking at Irvin, huh? He got the hots for Irvin. So um they gonna do the damn thing, and I'm happy for Irvin. I'm happy for Bert. So
Okay.
I'm
All
I'm I'm
right.
glad Irvin is not deceased, and that you know Bert is not a creeper. So
Okay. And just to wrap up the final episode before we jump off into Yellow Jackets, excuse me. Um Asal is in Mark's basement going through all his personal belongings, but she's telling him that when they begin their next session for the reintegration process that she wants to begin the following day, that having some personal items, more specifically, I guess, pertaining to his wife might help it move along a little bit faster. But
okay,
Mark starts to hear Miss Casey. Because remember he turned around and he was like, "Did you say something?" She was like, "I didn't say anything." But
yeah,
he starts to hear Miss Casey and some,
right.
I get either one or some of the wellness sessions that they had. And now he's starting to visualize the hallways at his job and things like that. And so you see the reintegration process is starting to work. It's just a matter of, you
Is
know,
she? Is he? Or is she there? Or is he imagining it? Is he standing in front of her actually, or is he just imagining it?
I'm gonna go with it's the reintegration part because remember, he said he's not seeing the effects of the reintegration process, and she said, but maybe your any is, and the any was, and I think now he is.
Right, but at the same time, Mark, they're losing leverage over Mark, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
Mark is kind of rebelling against
Mm-hmm.
Milchek.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of talking back a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they need to have something that they can hang over him to kind of make him do what they need him to do. And I think Gretchen, or whatever his name, what his wife's name? Gretchen, Brenda,
What, Miss Casey? Gretchen?
Miss Casey is her name. I
Yes.
was way off. Anyway,
Oh my God.
they I feel like they would use her to kind of keep him in line. Why
Yeah,
did I
but where
think her
is
name was
she?
Gretchen?
But where is she?
I you don't think she still works for Lumen? You think they just kicked her out?
I don't think they kicked her out, but like, so you know she's not existing in society. So where is
I
she?
feel like she is somewhere. I mean,
Okay.
she's out there somewhere. I think Lumen got her. I think
What
Lumen
is
has her,
happening over
and
there?
she's like hiding some, or they're hiding her somewhere, and I feel like they're going to use her as that leverage against him. But I really, I mean, you saw the pain in his face as he realized that um he either he was losing it or that he could see her face and it was causing him a great deal of pain. I mean, think
Mhm.
about it. This
Mhm.
man joined Lumen to
Mhm.
start with because he was so hurt
Mhm.
by the loss of his wife that um he didn't even want to be he didn't even want to remember half of his life. Like he just wanted
Mhm.
to go to work just so he can forget. I mean, that is some deep pain. Like I don't even want to be me, right? I don't even want to be me. So can you just make me forget
For 8 hours a
about half
day.
my life every day?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so just imagine what it must feel like for him to think that there's hope that she's still alive. So, that's deep, and I
Mhm.
kind of feel for him. I really hope that she's still alive, and I hope this works out. But I mean, I want him to get back with his wife, but at the same time, I kind of want him
To
to
get with
be with,
Helly?
yeah.
All right. All right. All
Gretchen
right,
is
guy.
Dylan's wife. Dylan's
Gretchen.
wife's name was Gretchen.
Gemma is
What was Dylan's
Mars.
wife's name?
I think it was Gretchen. I can't remember, but Gemma.
Oh, look at that! I
Ooh,
pulled that off all
easy.
off the dome.
Gemma
I didn't know
is
that was her name.
Mark's wife, so it does begin with a G. You were in the neighborhood at
That's
least.
fine.
We'll
That's
give you that.
that's all I need to get is the first letter.
Okay. Excuse
All
me.
right, what you want to go to? You want to talk about
Yellow
you got any
Jackets.
announcements before we start talking about Yellow Jackets? Because I got a lot to
No.
say about that mess.
Well, all
A
right. Well,
lot.
let's go. Let's go. Let's get on into it. I'm curious to hear what you got to say now.
So we just finished episode or season 1 of Yellow Jackets. I'm gonna let you go first because
No,
I got
no.
questions.
You
I
well,
got a lot of questions about
okay.
Yellow Jackets.
Well, so my only thing is like I really enjoy actually the series. I kind of went through season 1 fairly quickly. I'm already into season 2. Um I had zero idea. I think the reason initially why I did not watch it is because the young lady that was on Two and a Half Men is one of the main characters on this, and I was just
That's
like,
right. She's the lady lives downstairs. I forgot. Yep.
yeah. But I'm glad you guys recommended this. Is a great series. It's slightly insane, but I like that. The characters that they have, Misty, I love Misty. I know I probably shouldn't, but
She
don't
is
look at me like
messed
that.
up. She is messed up, bro.
But I enjoy her character. But the reason why I enjoy her character, I mean, she was a little touched when she was a teenager and poisoning people. And she still has that trait now. But the reason why I like her is because she has, I'm gonna say this and I know what your response is gonna be, but she has no ill will um with
Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Stop.
there
Stop.
is
Stop.
no, because she just wants to be accepted. She just wants to, all right, well, go ahead
No,
because
that may have been how it started. She just
hmm
wanted to be accepted. Okay, but no.
no, she's
No.
still now as a grown adult. That's part because when she was spying on Natalie and ended up doing the drugs on behalf of her, when she found out that she had that she was about to relapse, she
All right, let me
said,
explain it to the people first. What it is we
okay,
talking about before we actually go into the show. So this show, Yellow Jackets, is about a soccer team, a female soccer team, who was on their way to, I guess, a
nationals,
tournament or something like
national.
that. When they passed over the largest goddamn patch of trees and forest in the entire world. I
Mhm.
don't know exactly where they were, but
Mm-mm.
something went wrong with the plane and the plane crashed. Half of the crew, I mean, the entire crew, and
Mhm.
half of the passengers, more than half of the passengers,
Perish.
flew out of the plane or were burned or just absolutely died in the crash.
Mhm.
And now they have not done anything I would expect someone who is lost in the forest to do, but they are trying to make their way. Basically, essentially, is what they're doing, and it to me this is the funniest thing that I've ever seen in life. They are not doing anything that someone who is lost should be doing. Right, the things that they care about most are just what why what are you doing? Okay, so I just I don't understand. First of all, there's a girl in here. I
What
don't
is
know.
going on over there?
I don't. There's a girl in here. I don't know. I forget what her name is, but she's the chick that looks like the man in the Iron Mask. Okay.
Van.
Yeah, Van.
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 Mhm.
First of all, they left her ass at the back of the plane when the plane caught on
So
fire. The
stupid.
plane caught on fire, and they couldn't get her out of her seatbelt, and they left her on the plane. They was the girl grabbed her. She was like, "Come on, we can't save her. We can't save her."
That was
And you just hear her scream. I
Jackie.
was like, "Ah!" They just left her on the plane to burn to death. Only she
Mhm.
didn't die. She
Mm-mm.
got off the plane. She looked at them like, "Bitch, you left me on this burning plane." And then
Stupid.
she tried to apologize. She was like, "I'm sorry." No, no, you know, I'm sorry. I ain't gonna make up for this. You left me on a burning plane. No, no. So these women, these young ladies, and their teacher,
Coach.
who's down to one leg, are trying to find food and shelter, and they find a cabin, and then apparently they just stop being, looking for ways to leave. They like it here, so we're just gonna
No.
stay.
That's not what
What do you mean
happened.
no? You tell me what you saw.
Because Thaisa, she was like, I'm gonna try and go and see if there's like another town, village, something else close by that we could potentially get some help. And the
No,
other girl, Laura Lee, she tried to fly the plane out until it.
no, eventually she trying to fly the plane out like episode 5, but before that they was like jumping around, having like all these little sing offs and skinny dipping in the lake and
Stupid.
everything. You are lost,
It's
children. What are you doing? Like
it's
they
it's
they
it's the we're trying to make the best of a bad situation,
no no
sir.
they was no
Yes.
no no
Yes.
they no they was having sex, huh? They were and
Making
they
the
were
best
like,
of a bad
listen, we don't
situation.
need to have babies out here. Why don't you try and use these condoms? Put the damn condoms away. We're lost in the woods. Okay, put your dirty mess back in your pants so we can try and find a
Ew.
way out of this forest. Do you understand? No, not one person, not one single person
I
in the
can't.
first 4 to 5 episodes decided that they wanted to get up and go look for help. Not one. They didn't think at all. You know what? It's warm out. Maybe we should go find an adult somewhere. Maybe climb to the top of this tree and see what direction we should walk
But
in.
they
No. No.
but remember when they left the plane site, they put that they went to the lake or whatever on the outside of the plane. So they were still waiting, I feel like potentially for any because they don't know what Misty did. So they were still waiting for potentially any
Oh, oh, Misty. Oh my God. So, in case you hadn't seen the show, right? Misty is this lunatic of a child
I love
who needs
Misty.
attention
She needs a hug.
constantly,
She
right?
just needs a hug.
She is in her element out in these woods, right? At the um nobody really respects her
High school.
at school,
Mm.
right? But they love her out in these woods because she knows how to forage and how to take care of it. So she was able to cut off her teacher's leg and then kind of bandaging him up and just stop him from getting gangrene and all this other stuff. So she's thriving out here, right? And she hears one of the little girls over talking, saying how great she was if it wasn't for her, that they wouldn't be anywhere and all this other stuff. And Misty finds the black box that has the little button or the little thing in it
The
that
tracker.
right. She
Mhm.
reaches into the black box with her bare hands, which is not a thing you could do. But she reaches into this black box with her bare hands and tears out the tracking signal just so they can be stuck outside in the woods. Son, do you know Misty? No, 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 no. Oh, you did what? No, nope, no. I mean, what? You tell me what you thought. You tell me what you thought.
Wi- on that particular scene?
No, just any of it.
Well, there are a lot of times that I'm screaming, like at all. I'm screaming because Jackie ended up, I thought she was nice. She ended up being a mean girl. She is diabolical. Um, I thought Misty, I still think that she just needs a hug and she'll be all right. Travis needs counseling or something because the argument that he got into with Natalie about his ED issue was just absolutely ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. Um, I'm cracking up at the coach having to play along that he likes Misty just because he don't want to be poisoned
So
anymore.
at first I didn't catch that. I thought like he was being for real. I thought he was being serious. I was like, what kind of show
Oh my
am I
god.
watching here, man? I love you too, but no, we're
No.
not allowed. We can't do it.
Okay,
Well, what kind of shit?
this is the woman. So before she poisoned him, this is the woman that cut your leg off. Is that the woman that you want to upset and say that you don't?
So I don't know, man. Like I don't understand anything these people are doing. I don't understand what is going on. They're making alcohol. They're having dance offs. They're swimming in the lake naked. They're talking about who's hot and who's not. They're doing all this other bullshit, lady. We are lost. We are lost. There was a plane crash right over there. Okay,
Oh my god.
There are people still stuck in there who have perished. Right, they're gone. Right, and we're dancing, having a good time, like none of this shit happened. Like nothing happened. Like everything is just fine. And I thought they was gonna be out here for like a day or like a week. No, they were out
19
here for like
months.
a year. Like
Yeah.
a year.
Hmm.
Just F it off. Just not doing nothing. Talking about you slept with my boyfriend or you did this, lady. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about none of that. Okay, I don't care. I don't care if she slept with the whole football team. We need to leave. We need to get out of here, right? And it wasn't until like the sixth episode that they decided, listen, it's going to get cold in a few weeks. We should probably try to leave. And they didn't want to go. They're like, no, we should stay here. For what? They're not eating anything.
because
There's no
I
food.
because I still feel like they think that a rescue team will show up.
It's been a year. It's been a year. No
Not
one's
at
coming.
this not at this point. Not at this point because what's the child's name? Shauna still hasn't had the baby. Shauna's still pregnant. Hasn't been a year yet. Gestation is only 9 months.
So I was following the show until then, right? I was following the show. I didn't understand why nobody was trying to do anything to leave, right? And then episode, how many episodes was in the first season?
10.
10 episodes. I think episode 8, that shit went off the deep end. I don't
What are
know
you
what
talking about?
happened.
What happened?
What you mean? Did you finish watching the whole season?
Yes, I
Okay,
enjoyed it.
so they what's her name?
Shauna, Misty.
Margaret or Misty.
Uh-huh.
Misty. Who name? You know what? Never mind. It's so
We talked about that already last
Misty.
week.
So Misty,
Hmm.
Misty gets everybody like messed up on mushrooms, right?
Not
And
intentionally. That was not her fault. That was not
right,
her
I
fault.
get that. But
Okay.
you got the lady who can feel, or the girl who can feel stuff. She's saying something is coming. So I'm like, all right, I wonder what she's talking about. Like, is there gonna be like, is there like a monster or something? No, everybody flipped the script. There's some shit happened on the show I ain't never seen happen before. They grabbed a knife and then they held it to old boy's throat and then they was like kissing on him and all this other stuff.
They were high.
No.
They were
No, no,
they
no,
were they were
no.
high.
I done seen people do some stuff before. Okay, I ain't never seen nobody do that.
But
All right.
they were on mushrooms
No,
and they
everybody had the
were
same reaction. Everybody. So first they was kissing on old boy, and then they was going ask him. The whole group, and they didn't even recognize him.
no, they didn't. No, but
So
that's being on drugs.
you,
I don't know what to tell you. That's being on drugs.
so that's it. That's your explanation. That's your excuse. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry I did all that last night. Listen. I was just messed up. So you have to forgive me. Please forgive me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mean you tried to? No. You chased me through the forest. You said no. You said you want to split me open. I can't. No.
All
Would you
right.
buy that
Okay.
excuse?
Okay.
Would you buy that excuse?
I would take issue with it. I'm just saying, as an outside observer, they were high.
You
They
would
were
take issue
all
with what?
on. If I was the person that they tried to kill,
You
I would take.
what would you say the next day?
I can't. I don't think I can say it on YouTube.
Just give me like a Cliff Note version.
Please excuse yourself to the other side of the cabin.
That's what you.
That's very clean, very very as clean as possible.
Laugh in the bushes says they tried to do a choo choo on that boy. I don't know, man. Like I didn't see that coming. Right? I did not see that aspect of the show.
I didn't either. I won't lie.
It just came out of nowhere. Nobody recognized anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then they finally decided, like, who was the black woman who
Taissa, who's running for office?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is her name Turner or something like that? Taissa Turner or something like that? I think that's
what
what it is.
I think so, yeah.
So she decided that she needs to go find help, right? Which is commendable because you should have been did that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You should have been did that. You're a couple months behind schedule.
Okay, they got there though. I mean, they got there. They're children. They are children. You have to listen. You are a grown man. They are children. So in general, children will most times get close to the safe place and stay there until help comes. And she finally got to the point where she's like, I need to, grow up and try and do something. But they're children.
Adult with them? Isn't there an
He's
adult
broken.
I don't know.
But go ahead and tell your story because this is how Van's face got messed up.
Yeah, so they keep doing her dirty, right? They keep doing her so dirty. They left her on the airplane and she got off, right? And she looked at old girl sideways, like, you some bitch left me on this airplane to burn. And then after they did that, then they went out in the woods. First of all, they walked. I thought they walked for days, right? Because they walked and then they set up camp, right? They had a campfire and everything. And then they got up the next day and she was like, we're losing daylight. And then they kept walking, right? Then Taissa got, that whole group got attacked by a bunch
Pack
of wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then they chewed old girl's face. So not only did she almost burn to death
they almost burned her again. Yeah.
Then a wolf chewed on her face.
Mm-hmm.
And then they thought she was dead, so they took her body. They didn't even check.
They were going to give her a Viking send-off. Yeah, no.
They didn't check for a pulse. No, they just started a fire and threw her damn body on top. Threw her body on it. She was like, "Murr," and she wasn't even dead. Do you know how mad she had to be knowing that they tried to burn her ass twice, and she got chewed on by wolves? She'd have had the toughest go out of all of them. If anybody should want to leave this forest, it should be her. You want to go for a swim? Hell no. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. I'm about to go find me a ride. Y'all want to
Well,
leave?
I
I'm leaving.
think I think the reason, because I think what you're trying to get to is that they were able to get her back to the camp fairly quickly. And
Yeah,
I
so
think
that was what I was getting to. That was my point. So it took them 2 days to walk. And when she went down because she got chewed on by that wolf and turned it had looked like this,
stupid.
right? She was like, I'll be right back. And she ran in one night, she ran all the way back in the dark, back to the cabin in the dark.
But I think part of the reason why they weren't that far is because, remember, they were having problems with the compass. Remember it when they came across the what you call it, the river of blood, and she showed her the compass and it was just spinning. So maybe they
Yeah.
were having problems directionally.
Even more reason to get lost trying to get back to the cabin. They had no idea where it was at. And you think you finding a cabin in the dark, in the woods, with no compass.
Okay, you're right. I'll give you that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They found it in like a few
5
hours. And I was
seconds.
like, hang
Yeah.
on, I thought y'all been marching for days. You just found this cabin tonight?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just the young version of what it is they had to go through. The adult versions
Oh my goodness. Oh my
are even
goodness.
worse.
Well,
You want
you
to start
got
with the adult versions?
you have Natalie trying to track down Travis after she got out of rehab, and her and Misty is, I'm telling you, she is, because she messed up her car. She messed up her car on purpose so that she could be part of this little road trip. But they end up getting to Travis's house, can't find him. They end up getting arrested because they did a B&E on his house. Anyway, they bail out of jail and they go to his job and they find him dead. Natalie is not accepting the fact that it's been classified as a suicide. Um
Yeah. Natalie needs a do-over. Natalie needs a goddamn do-over because you see her, man. She has been ridden hard and put away rough. She
God.
is Jesus. You've seen her?
That's the whole point.
Life has
She's a That's
completely
the point. She's
KO'd her.
supposed to look rough because
She has
she was getting out of rehab at the beginning of the series.
life did her like Tyson,
You
just
stupid.
whooping her ass daily. Ugh,
You
just
are
body blow after
so
body blow.
stupid.
She had on a mini skirt and fishnet. She's like 50 years old.
50.
Like 50 years old, just rolling
She's
around and
not
fish. That lady, what
50.
you doing? Like somebody need to give her a hot meal and some advice. She gotta stop. You seen her?
Yeah, I
You seen
saw
her.
her.
Every time they got a close-up shot on her, you was like, God damn.
Ugh.
You
But you have to remember how it started with her dad passing away, how that happened.
no,
Okay.
no. Everybody go through some shit. You
Yeah,
you you you
What
ain't got no
have
reason to still have on fishnets.
Okay. So everybody goes through what happened with her dad, plus being stranded for 19 months with about 19 months with a bunch of psychopath little girls, and then coming back, and I mean, come on.
But it's a good show. I'm not trying to suggest that it's not a good show. It's caught my interest. I'm about to go on and start watching season 2
Mhm.
before I start talking about season 3. It's a good show. It was just those aspects of it that didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like no one trying to go get help, but it like bothered me a little bit. Like they were
Okay.
having a lot of fun, like a lot of
I
fun.
don't think they were having a lot of fun. I think they were trying to manifest fun where they could, because remember, you had everybody there had a job except for apparently Jackie, but everybody there had a job function to be able to continue their survival, collecting water, getting food, prepping the food, blah 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 blah, all that good stuff. So
Yeah,
they were I mean, at some point you want to be like, well, we are still children. Let's have a little bit of, so that's why they put on Montel Williams and they were doing This Is How We Do It. You don't remember the song This Is How We Do
you you're telling me right now with a straight face that you would be in the forest like dancing to Montel Williams.
Not Montel Williams, no.
You would be having fun, no?
You have to have fun at some point. You can't
No, you
just be.
don't. No, you don't. No,
It
you
was the.
don't. No, you
Excuse
don't.
me. It was okay. So it was the end of the night. There was nothing else that you'd be able to do out of doors. So you're just gonna sit there and look at each other.
No, you lay there and cry. Hope that you get saved. That's what you do. That's what you do. We're not having fun right now. We're saving fun for when we get home. You need to be figuring stuff out. Your first thing that you need to do, right, is food. We need to figure out a plan. We need to figure out stuff, right? Because you're right there. You're right there by the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right there by the water. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we need to figure out a way where we can make like a raft or something out of everything that's going on, right? Because you can always follow water
Mm-hmm.
unless it's going to turn into a waterfall. But other than that,
Exactly.
you got a pretty good chance. You know what I'm saying? But to sit here in this broke ass cabin, like dancing, this is how we. No, we not doing that for months on end. We not doing that. We are not doing that. That's just all they seem to do is just have sex, listen to music, and skinny dip, talk about boyfriends and how messed up they are, and watch Misty try to get with this gay
Oh
coach.
my god.
So, and the adults were worse. The adults were a lot worse.
Well,
Misty's terrible. She's a horrible person.
no, she's not. No, she is not.
She
I
kidnapped
will.
a reporter.
I will not allow you to say that she is a horrible person.
She
Misty.
kidnapped a reporter and then she killed her.
she,
She killed her. She drugged her and killed her.
Misty does terrible things, but not. She.
You're never coming back to my house ever again. Never coming back. At
She
least
does
you
them.
staying away from my cups. I know
Wait,
that. You ain't coming nowhere near my cups or food. None of that shit.
she
She
does.
talking about
She does them with the best intentions.
No, she killed someone,
I.
Chris. She killed a human being
I understand,
after
but
she tied her to the bed
she did
for
it with
days.
she did it with the intention of protecting her friends. That's what I'm saying. It's not because she just wanted to kill someone. She wasn't going out and like being maniacal or anything like that. She was doing it with the intention of protecting her friend. Because keep in mind, she knows that her friends were being blackmailed. She knows that her friend was murdered. She knows that there was something going on with his bank account. She does not know, or she has a feeling that this woman, excuse me, is somehow involved, if not directly with those things, then with something else. And she's trying to protect her friends. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she's a bad person, but you can look at this and say that that's not good, but you can look at some of the other what I would see as villains on other shows that we've reviewed and say that they have the best of intentions and not give her this pass for that. Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
so okay, so noted. So some crazy woman ties my sister to a bed and keeps you there for days. You're good. Like you don't need anybody. She's
I'm
lady's got the
not.
best intentions. So for anybody that doesn't understand what it is, I'm about to go into is like it's the adult version of what they're going through right now. Like all of them are kind of reeling. The entire seemed like the entire town kind of wants to get their story. They're not really talking about what has happened to them out there. And at the same time, you're learning as the season unfolds as to what went on with them in the woods. You don't know exactly what the full story is right now. Probably in season 2, maybe you get a little bit more of that story. But I forget the name of the woman who or the little girl who slept with the girl's boyfriend, and she was like, tell me you love me." Remember, the
Shauna.
one that got pregnant.
Shauna.
So Shauna sees her husband or sees a note on her husband's phone or a text on her husband's phone, and it says same time, same hotel. So she thinks her husband is cheating. So she got into an accident with this gentleman,
Yeah.
and
Adam.
I guess she followed up on it. Yeah, she followed up on it, and he was kind of digging her a little bit. So they did the do right. She figured it was okay because her husband was cheating. She didn't say anything to her husband, and it come to find out her husband wasn't cheating. He was actually in big with the mob,
Hmm.
and he was trying to figure out a way to pay them back. And then she had to tell him that she was sleeping with somebody because she thought he was sleeping with somebody.
Yeah, but he was the one blackmailing her counterparts. The other, so he was blackmailing Thaisa and Natalie to
Yeah,
get money
so
to pay off the
it's
mob.
just right now it's just a huge cluster. A lot of the stuff is it doesn't go where you think it's going to go, right? And the things you
Mm-mm.
think should happen are not happening.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
I'm very very interested in watching season 2. Um
Well, you didn't get into Shauna. So Shauna killed
she
the
did. She
guy
killed the
that,
boyfriend and then
yeah,
cut him up.
yeah. Did you see where his head ended up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the furnace.
cremation. Yep.
So I mean, what do you think about this? What do you think about this season? First season.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like I said, I'm in season 2. I think I'm on episode 4 of season 2. So yeah, definitely will continue watching it.
Okay.
Yep.
Um it's decent. It's not it's a good recommendation. So I forget who was it. I forget who was the person who recommended it. So
I
I
think it
really
was
appreciate that.
recommended a couple times. Yeah.
So thanks for that. Keep them coming. And again, join us on Discord. Like, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the content. And let's go into what we're about to watch or what you got. What you got on tap for this week? What are you guys watching now? What is your Valentine's Day movie? I think somebody put on Discord.
Mm, mm, mm.
What you got? What you got? What's your Valentine's Day go to?
I don't have a Valentine's Day too. I'm currently watching Paradise on Hulu. That's a great show. Great show.
Is
It's
it?
got a lot of silo undertones. Yep.
Somebody recommended that on
Mhm.
Discord too. I have to check that out.
Mhm. It's
I
pretty
think
good.
I'm gonna watch The Gorge after I get off of here
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
Apple TV, which came out
Mhm.
today, I believe.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
check that out. And other than that, I probably have to figure out a time me and you can get to the movies and go watch uh, Captain
Captain
America.
America.
Yeah,
Okie dokie.
I keep hearing about this Cassandra. What is this, man? What is Cassandra? Do you know what they talking about?
Yeah. I think it's on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. And it has to do with the AI. Some family moves into like this house or something like that, and there's like this robot that's already there and kind of ends up taking over
What?
the household in some sense. So
Really?
yeah. Hmm.
I want to check that out.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. I mean, that sounds good to me. You know, give me something to watch this week. I'm probably going to continue on with Dark, and as I was explaining to a lot of people in the Discord and on the YouTube channel, we're probably going to start watching these shows together. I'm going to do recaps with you guys, and so it's kind of like we can watch along together, and maybe at some point I can get you over here and we can start doing some recaps together. But for the most part, I'm just going to watch them and react along, you know, with you guys and start putting the videos out like that. If you guys have any suggestions, you know,
Definitely.
uh, just throw them our way, and any ideas on how we can improve the channel, how we can make it easier for you or better for you. Want to hear that as
Hmm.
well.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's about it. What else you got? You got anything else?
I think that's it for now.
All right. Well,
Hmm.
we love y'all. Y'all be safe, man. World's kind of messed up right now, but y'all take care of each
Hmm.
other. Be kind to each other, man.
That's
Be
right.
kind to each other. And
Hmm.
we love y'all, and I thank you. I thank y'all for hanging out with me. No problem. Live from the bushes. We love switching to Friday, man. But we love you guys, man. Y'all be good
Mm.
and enjoy the rest of your Valentine's Day. All
Cheers,
right.
guys.
Bye, holla.